It's an honor to be with you today. It's an honor and also something that I'm extremely enthusiastic about because the topic we will discuss today is at once the most important topic I think we could address, but also the one that we've labored the hardest to prepare for. So let me start off with a very simple premise here. The premise is that the most important capacity that you possess as human beings is your capacity to influence behavior, that of yourself and that of other people. The one skill that determines your success or failure in almost every area of life is your capacity to influence behavior, that of yourself at times and frequently that of other people. Now, we came to this conclusion by asking an interesting question of leaders over the years. We've asked them this magic wand question. How many of you have ever fantasized about having a magic wand? Have you ever done that? You ever wish you had one? I don't know about you, but when I was little, a magic wand would have been one I would have made candy with, right? Big piles of it would have been terrific. I got a little older and it would have been cash. That would have been nice. These days I could use some of that too. But as I got older, I noticed my desire for a magic wand didn't diminish, but its purpose changed. What I wished I had a magic wand for was something I could use to aim at another human being. Do you ever want one of those? Something I could use to get somebody to do something different than they're doing. So we've asked leaders over the years this question. If you had a magic wand, what would you do with it? And the answers were kind of intriguing. You know, some of them you'd predict, if I could get people to work harder, be more productive and things like that. But I was with a group of hotel managers a few months back in Dubai. And one of them pulled me aside on a break and said, I didn't want to answer the magic wand question in public because this is a little sensitive, but I wanted to tell you. And I said, well, thank you. Now he pulls me into the shadow a little bit, and he says, you may know that I'm the general manager of one of the finest hotel properties in all of Dubai, not only Dubai, but the whole world. And I said, yeah, I'm familiar with your property. It's spectacular. He says, yes, it is, and we've worked hard to maintain high service levels, but we do have one problem. And now he looks around the room, and he pulls me even further into the shadows, and he said, I've been trying for 3 years to figure out how to keep the prostitutes out of my hotel and just can't figure out how to do that. How many of you struggle with the same thing? So we all have our different problems, right? Talk to leaders who struggle to try to get their staff working a little bit hard. I worked with one in Sacramento, a leader from state government, and I asked him the same question. You know, if you had a magic wand, what would you do with it? He said, well, I have a very large organization. I said, you do? And he said, yes, I do. And I said, how many people do you have working for you? He said, about half. You know what he wants to use his magic wand for? If I could just get him to show up on time, work a full shift, that would be terrific. I was working with a leader of a healthcare organization, and I asked him about the magic wand question. He said, you know, it's kind of funny, but these days if I had a magic wand, I would aim it at my chaplains. I said, why? He said, they're a bunch of dirty liars. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that awful? He told me these stories about problems he was having with this group of people. So we all wish we had a magic wand at times. In fact, many of us feel like the famous social scientist David Sedaris. You may be familiar with some of his work. David Sedaris says, I haven't got the slightest idea how to change people, but I keep a long list of prospective candidates just in case I should ever figure it out. How many of you have that kind of list? Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. Today is not about just passive accumulation of ideas. Today is about application. Today is about building our skills. How many of you would like 10 times more influence than you currently have? How many of you would like that? Yeah, that's what we're here to learn. What I'm here to share with you today is a set of principles and skills which, if you use them, will increase your influence literally tenfold.